Welcome everybody to TLDR special episode recap from AWS reInvent. With me, as always, my dear co-host Sebastian Straub. Good to see you again. But today we have two special guests, which I'll let you guys introduce yourselves. Let's start with the lady first. Yifat, please go ahead.
Okay, I'm Yifat. I'm a chief architect with AWS.
And our pleasure to host one of our customers here. Go for it.
Hi, everyone. I'm George Filipakos. I work for St. John's University. I currently manage the cloud team, but I do have a lot of infrastructure background over the last 30 years. And we are very happy to be using AWS as our backup solution for sure.
Thanks, George. It's not a fake background in the back, right? Where you actually work, right?
It is my home. Sorry for the mess.
Oh, no, that monitor back.
That's actually really cool.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people that we talk to have like fake backgrounds in the back, and yours doesn't look very fake.
I didn't go that far.
Very fake. All right. So yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Me and Yifat and George have been to reInvent. Sebastian has been to virtual reInvent, and basically kind of watched pretty much everything because he had time to consume a lot more than we did. We did a lot of walking between hotels and the booth and between meetings. And yeah, if there's one thing that I came back with is I think I'm more in shape after reInvent with the amount of steps that I did. So that was definitely, for those of you who've never been to reInvent, that's one of the things that you do. You walk a lot or take shuttles or hop between hotels and run around, among other things, and the fun and the knowledge and the swag that we'll get to in a while. So, in this recap, we probably going to go through three main topics. I think one is, what are your top releases from the show? And then we'll kind of go a little bit behind the scenes. I was working primarily at the booth. I spoke to a lot of people about our solution and what we do. I haven't heard the behind the scenes chatter about kind of the announcement. So I'll be happy to hear what you guys heard and think about. And of course, last we'll do some fun stuff. There was a lot of swag this year, and then we'll kind of get to that in a few minutes. But I'll go back and start with the top, your top releases. And again, I'll start with you, Yifat. What were your top releases, from the show that took your attention and you think are worth, mentioning?
Yeah, so I'm probably biased, but my top releases were the S3 ones. They introduced the tables, iceberg tables, support for iceberg tables in the S3 buckets. And they introduce metadata, bucket metadata. Mm-hmm. These are the most interesting releases, announcements.
George?
I have a laundry list. I don't know if you're ready, but definitely what Yifat mentioned, the table buckets, especially when you're dealing with data sets and support for tabular data is definitely amazing. The fact that you can query S3 metadata to find objects in your million of objects that might exist or even more. But on top of that, for S3, something that might not be, maybe this is a good one for topic number two, but essentially, I don't know if you heard, they have like a customized S3 browser now that you can allow access to your clients to S3 objects through a web interface. Unfortunately, it's not a turnkey solution at the moment. It's a React-based application, but this was something that we were actually looking for in our organization, dealing with like digital assets and a lot of pictures that were taken, and we wanted to store them in S3, but we had no way of giving good access to our marketing department to get those objects. That's definitely on the S3 side, yeah.
Nice.
On another thing on the infrastructure side, one thing that we have come across multiple times because we are running multi-account, multi-VPC environment, that did enable secure access to certain AWS resources across VPCs using private link and lattice and event bridge and step functions. But even more important for us, you can actually now create security groups that can be shared across VPCs, which we were used to duplicate the same security groups in our test dev QA environments, same rules, but now you can share that. So that was definitely a good announcement. From the security perspective, I think they have something called the AWS Security Incidents in Response now that you can kind of automatically triage and do investigations on events in your accounts. Obviously a whole bunch of new EC2 instances. I know this is a lot of AI stuff now with training.
I was waiting when AI will pop into this conversation.
I'm leaving the best for last. What else do I have? It was definitely AI oriented a lot in every aspect. Essentially, there was some AI. Notable things is the new model they released, Nova, which is for text, and then they have a couple new ones. I think it's called the Rio and Canva for video editing and stuff like that. But they improved on some other features. I think something they called Bedrock model distillation, where you can take a complex model and strip it down to make it more performant. I know I went to a session with a Q developer where you can use that to do operational investigations. I went to a session with Bedrock where you can actually create an agent and do Active Directory automations, which was amazing as well. I think
you've been busy. Sounds like you actually came here to learn things.
Yes,
instead of just going to,
I did. I
put my 36,000 steps. Awesome. Yeah. Seb, what's the web interface was like? What did you learn on that?
I'm sorry.
Sebastian. What was the virtual one? How was it for him?
So it was quite interesting, I gotta tell you. So one, yes, you don't have the interaction, the face-to-face interaction, like you said, meeting with people. But on the other hand, I got a lot of stuff done because, like you said, I didn't have to go 20,000 steps to get to the next class. I would say, so one thing, and we already touched on this, one of the most important things was AI. Amazon reInvent this year felt like one big AI explosion. Every session had AI tacked onto it, like a fancy bow on a holiday gift, whether it fit or not. AI-powered coffee, AI solutions for your AI solution. I think even the hotel elevators probably had machine learning built in and were giving you suggestions on which floor you want to be on. So, and like George already mentioned. So I think some of the interesting stuff that came out was the multi-agent Bedrock. Bedrock essentially is like the AI large language model that AWS provides you with. Now, multi-agent allows you to have like Tony Stark has Jarvis, and now with Amazon Bedrock multi-agent, you can have multiple Jarvises who are all specialized into something. Well, I'm a geek. I'm a Lego geek. So imagine if you have a big project like building a Lego city, instead of doing it all by yourself, you have a team of friends, each really good at different tasks. One is really good at building houses, another one is really good at building cars, and somebody else is great at creating parks. And then you're basically just the team leader who tells everybody what to do and makes sure that all of the pieces fit together. That's essentially Bedrock multi-agent. You can have multiple AI agents talking to each other, working with each other. Then the next thing that I thought was really important, really important, is Bedrock has 100% no hallucinations. What that means is, as we all know, AI can make up stuff. With earth-shattering confidence, AI will tell you something, but it's absolutely not true, and that's called an hallucination. So now Amazon is saying that Bedrock has 100% no hallucinations. Really important stuff. Like George mentioned, the AI Nova models, they're very important because now they have tiers for that as well, where you can, it makes it very easy for you to choose what you want to do. The other thing that I thought was also interesting is that Amazon now has its own AI chip. So obviously we have NVIDIA with the A100, and not a day goes by where Mark Zuckerberg doesn't announce that he's going to be in control of most of the NVIDIA A100 chips and who has the most. So now that AWS announced that they have their own AI chip, it was interesting to see how the stock market reacted. So not only did Amazon stock go up, but at the same time, NVIDIA stock went up as well. So it's interesting to see that the market is essentially willing to say that there is enough business for two different providers. And the other thing that I thought was really interesting, well, like Yifat said, the S3 tiers, very important. But if I had to pick one, like he said, well, what's the one that you think is really, really important? Like George said, VPC lattice. So this will allow you to connect your resources in a much more streamlined manner. And what I mean by that is there were even some third-party providers who allowed you to create something outside VPC connections, the direct connections and stuff like this. So now AWS, just like Amazon, realizes, oh, something sells a lot. We should probably make that an Amazon basic. We should sell that as well. This is essentially what VPC lattice is. If you're wondering what it is, it's basically a configuration for VPC. Lattice makes communications between your services secure and seamless. Think of it as passing notes in class, but the teacher can't catch you. So even if you have different accounts, different regions, they're not connected to each other. They don't have to be all under the same master payer account. You now can create overarching configuration of your network. And I think that's super important.
Cool. Thanks for your picks. There's a lot of chatter that goes around where you're in the halls, when you're talking to people at lunch or at the booth or just in between with colleagues. What would you say were the innovations that didn't get, kind of big announcement? Did you hear kind of people talking? I'll start with you, George, and Ifad. Feel free to jump in, and then I'll over to you.
I didn't do too much conversing, to be honest with you. The only time I had that was really geared around patch management, because that's another hot topic. And obviously, but this is capabilities that I don't think they enhanced anything tremendously. One good thing, and I don't know if people are aware, that you can use the AWS Patch Manager to patch local on-prem instances as well as AWS instances, and we're actually in a transitional mode right now to use AWS services for patch management. Having that, we gave our best with SCCM and other Microsoft tools that were overly complex. Yes, certainly AWS has simplified that. Yeah, honestly, I was so focused on getting as much of those sessions. I don't know if I can offer anything more than that as far as like the crowd is concerned, and things that I didn't hear, unfortunately. I wish I had more information on that.
Okay, Ifad?
Yeah.
Yeah, not much here too. Didn't get to talk too much to other people.
Okay. Wow, you're like busy students,
I was
right?
hoping to get more time on the floor to talk to companies, because that's usually where you can go a little bit. But my schedule was so booked. I literally came to see you guys, and then I even left the showroom.
Yeah. And I remember I
So,
even saw you one evening, and you were already packed with your dinner, and you were like up to an early sleep, and
yeah.
waking up in the morning to do the next day. Yeah,
I did
yeah,
want to
yeah.
ask Sebastian, if Sebastian, did you get a chance to watch the VPC one, the networking session?
Yeah, I
Because
thought it was really interesting.
yeah, that because that was really a lot of information in there, definitely. Yeah.
I think
What?
there's value in it because so if we're talking about what didn't get enough mention, first I want to say one thing that got a little mention but not a lot, and justifiably so, is there's a new FSX tiering for intelligent tiering. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm not a huge fan of any intelligent tiering because it is not intelligent. It's usually unintelligent tiering. It's designed to make sure that Jeff Bezos has the most money on the planet. It makes it really a really unattractive. So the idea is that it'll put it into the best storage, the most affordable storage for what you want. Yeah, in theory, but if you can't ever touch it, because if you touch it, it's going to put it into a really unattractive storage tier. So I rant, but I think that didn't get a lot of mention, and justifiably so. I think what didn't get a lot of mention compared to how important it is, George mentioned the storage browser. Storage browser, I think, is a big one. It's probably going to put some third-party providers out of business who are currently providing a storage browser as a subscription, and now AWS is just going to provide it. So that's an important one. And the other, I think, is SageMaker. I don't think a lot of people understood what SageMaker can actually do. So SageMaker essentially integrates everything seamlessly. It's like a Swiss Army knife for AI. Again, AI. Except now in this case, it's actually really important because what you can do is you can combine S3, EC2, Lambda, RDS, Redshift, CloudWatch, AWS step functions just as part of a larger workflow. So this will allow you to essentially process and search everything from a single service within the AWS. I think we've only scratched the absolute surface of what that will be able to do. I think we're going to hear far more about AWS SageMaker in the future.
Cool.
Along
Awesome.
those lines, I forgot one thing to mention. I think there was not much regarding quantum, right? And there's a big hype in the news all over the place about quantum computing because that will
Yeah.
change the face of AI as well, right? In for the most part. So I did attend one quantum session, but it was relating to MATLAB, which is like a financial app, and it completely went over my head. I'll be honest with you. I thought I was in a foreign language class. I didn't understand one thing about it, not a thing. But definitely, in generally speaking, quantum was not really anywhere in the picture. And I know AWS has some quantum-based instances and everything, but it was not much there compared to obviously Google announcing Willow and other
Yeah, I think
companies.
so. Right.
Yeah,
I think that's the reason why, because right now the market leader is Google. And I
yeah,
don't think AWS can actually keep track or keep up with them. Now
yeah.
about the quantum, for anybody who's listening to this and is wondering what we're talking about. So quantum computing, the old-fashioned computing is ones and zeros. It's either on or it's off. It's bit. And quantum computing is essentially one zeros and maybes. Essentially it's like you know,
Multi-dimensional.
Yep.
it's like multiverses. It could happen. It's like Schrodinger's cat, kind of, sort of, and it's just tremendously faster than regular computing. And like George said, I think everybody is talking about it right now. I see constantly even people worrying about it, even though I don't think we really. So the worry is that quantum computing can eventually make encryption breakable.
Breakable.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
our RSA can be broken if you have 17 septillion years. So that's never going to happen. But with quantum computing, the idea is that they will be able to break it soon. Now, when they say soon, and this is where I think we need to really be careful, soon means anywhere between 5 and 10 years. So I completely agree. I think we should be talking about it because there are already encryption algorithms that go beyond quantum computers. So it's something we have to think about. Probably not in 2024 before Christmas, but I think it's something we need to talk about in the future.
Sebastian, since you like analogies, the best analogy that I saw for quantum is a standard computer is if you think of a coin, a standard computer, it's either head or tails. Quantum is when you flip the coin and it makes all those rotations.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So that will be essentially how quantum will work. It's not only heads or tails, it's everything in between.
I love that.
On the toss, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And but you know what? The only thing is regarding quantum, and I don't know how real it is or how true, but I was watching, I think, 60 Minutes, and IBM, who is also a big player in the quantum space, they're saying that they're going to have an error-free quantum computer by the end of 25.
Really? That's important.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. And they do have one quantum computer set up in some hospital in North Carolina, I believe. It's not obviously in the perfect shape, but yeah, I was shocked to hear that. And if that's true, we're looking at some big changes coming very soon.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay. I had I had a thought that Elon had the biggest quantum computer being built, but okay, yeah, news to me.
Elon is the one with the biggest ego.
The biggest what?
Elon is the one with the biggest ego.
Okay, got it.
Ego, yeah.
Now that you mentioned Elon Musk, there was not much in robotics. I guess AWS is not too much in robotics, or
even though there was a booth on the show floor
Yeah.
with some robots and things moving around, like there was something on display, which is actually kind of a good segue to kind of talk a little bit more about the fun stuff on the show, like the swag and surprises and the top things. And I'll take a start, but you guys probably again maybe walked a little bit more than I did. Definitely, everybody. We were giving away, we were giving away socks, we were giving away bags, we're giving away Lego, we're giving away like a lead backpack. Some of the customers got T-shirts that we had especially.
I think I got the best T-shirt in the house. Yeah, I think I
Yeah,
got
of
the
course.
best T-shirt, the whole conference
with your name on and everything. But yeah, I heard people, when we gave out socks, like everybody was like, everybody's giving socks. Like socks became a commodity. Something that started in the Kubernetes shows now became a commodity almost everywhere on the floor. But there was definitely people were people came with 3 bags filled of swag. For the first timers in reInvent, I'm pretty sure it's shocking the amount of clothing that you're leaving the show, amount of socks, amount of hats, amount of hoodies, T-shirts, pretty much everything. But there were some crazy stuff. I think that one for me, one of the most people that were chasing around 2 things: the lightsabers, and there was the Minecraft sword. Which I saw a lot of people running around with. And people were like, where can I get this? Where can I get this? Can you give me this? Can you give me that? I don't know what you guys saw and what you thought were on the swag. Be happy to hear.
Yeah, unfortunately, like I mentioned, I got 3 pairs of socks from Steve, and I'm very and the T-shirt, and essentially only the hoodie that they were giving out, which I did customize though, which was actually that was a nice
nice
feature. The
Yeah, that was a
customization
nice
when you
feature.
put
Yeah. That was a nice
that was
feature.
an addition.
Yeah.
And the fact that it wasn't a zip up, it was like a regular hoodie. I think that was a good change from other reinvents. But yeah, other than that, man, I've collected so much stuff over the years, and if I tell you, I probably still have bags from reinvents that I haven't even opened. So I kind of said to myself, you know what, I'm not collecting anymore. So I didn't see anything. One spin that I did on a Wheel of Fortune, I wanted a t-shirt. I ended up with a USB charger. So that was a failure.
By the
That
way,
was about it.
even those charger and adapters, which people
Yeah.
think are kind of redundant, there were
Uh,
actually quite a few people coming up to us and saying, "Hey, are you giving an adapter? Are you giving a charger?" Like people ran out of battery for sure. It's
Oh
still
yeah.
valid.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It still holds,
It's
even
still
though it's
legit.
kind
Yeah,
of
it's still legit.
yeah, it's still legit. Ifada, did you pick up anything interesting, or did you see anything interesting?
No, actually, not much. But your backpack, that was big hit.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
one
the
with the
backpack.
LEDs.
Yeah, I said, you know, if you're in Vegas, be a billboard.
Yeah.
And that's what I
Exactly.
did. I walked around. Funny enough, I saw another guy walking with the same backpack. And another startup that I saw basically probably didn't know that this backpack existed. And what they did is they took like a traditional backpack, put a screen, a computer screen on the back, and they walked with a screen like you have in the back there, George, all around the show. And funny enough, I know this company, and I was like, dude, check out this bag. It's like so easy and simple. Why didn't you do this? So yeah, the bag was a huge success. We carried the bag actually to another show that we had the following week, and yeah, and I have to tell you, once reInvent left Vegas, an entire rodeo took over Vegas. There was like I don't know, like the championship rodeo something. That was a spectacle. Like
I
that's a
did see a
great
lot of
swag. That's a
cowboys.
great swag. Yeah.
A lot of cowboys.
Um,
Yeah.
all right.
Skin tight jeans, the boots, and the cowboy hat all over the
Yeah.
place.
Okay, cool. Any final points, things that you guys think worth to mention regarding reInvent?
If other people are going to be watching this, you know, I definitely recommend, you know, to go to the AWS YouTube channel. There's definitely a lot of videos there, especially, I know we didn't mention the keynotes. They're mostly general, but definitely,
Yeah,
you know, they're worth watching. As well as Twitch. I think AWS is big on Twitch. So yeah, that's the recommendation. I mean, you can still gain the knowledge from that, you know, and that's all the comments I have.
cool. Ifat, any comment, any tips besides taking the shuttle for the hotels, which I know helped you tremendously?
No, actually, walking 2,000 steps a day, it's wonderful. I loved
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
My
I
record
saw a
was
lot of
36. 36
wow,
I did one day.
36.
That
Oh,
was
Wow,
it.
nice.
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seb, anything on the virtual front?
It's two things, and just like George said, I think you can actually watch them on YouTube.
Yeah.
Two things. One, the Tatonka chicken wing eating contest, which is like the 6th year at AWS. Watch
Oh,
it.
wow.
It's fantastic to watch people
Mm.
eat more chicken wings than they should. And the
Mhm.
other was a guided yoga for, you know, while you're at reInvent, you know, so that you can calm down
Mm.
and find your center. And you
Right.
can actually watch it on YouTube so that you can always find your center
Right, right,
throughout
right,
the
right,
year.
right. Yeah, yeah. It's totally. I mean, I actually remember seeing some signs leading to that at some point. Okay, guys, thank you so
Thank you.
much
Thank you so much.
for
Thank you.
participating. Enjoyed the session with you. And yeah, for those of you who are watching and are following TLDR, the next session we're going to do is about Dora Final Countdown. So Dora is right around the corner. It's going to be here very, very soon. So we got you covered with everything you need to know and how N2WS can help you, you know, get ready for that. So see you in the next episode. Thank you, everyone. Loved
Thank
seeing you at
you.
reInvent, and have a good one. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Happy
Bye.
holidays. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.